everyone, my name is Mitz, and here back a Phoenix Wright conflict of interest. So, we're going to the first trial day of this web-based turnabout, and we're already going on to some very, very flimsy little obstacles we're probably have to overcome, as literally, as just as Waters mentioned before, there's practically no evidence to actually prove that Norman Books is the culprit, except for maybe possibly the fact that they're friends and that's it, but they don't have any actual evidence. Plus, it seems like the motivation for this whole killing to happen in the first place was a goddamn flame war that happened on the internet. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. And now we have to come back some lady who saw everything and she's a pain in the goddamn ass to talk to. This is gonna be fun. Oh boy, just get out of the way, oh body. Please tell me it has something way much better than just that, please. You don't even know what we don't have even invested the crime scene itself, not even the victim's room, but okay, you better give us something. Hi. Alright, I can't wait to get started! Okay, get your fanboy pants out of here. Unfortunately, Mr. Books, it won't be that exciting. All you're really gonna be doing is waiting by the bench for a few hours. I think he actually wouldn't be anywhere else in the world. I know! Yes, just watching everything happen like a TV courtroom drama. Well, whatever floats your boat, I guess. Oh my gosh, if he was able to, I bet he would just grab a camcorder and start recording. Now this is actually the whole fact that there's an Ace fan club. Does that mean there's technically people in the audience for most of for Phoenix's things that record what he does? Oh my. Okay, creep factor's going up, because if there's like, you know, a movie of like actual real people like mimicking his life in some past cases he had, that means technically, the very least, people are recording or keeping tabs on what his court cases were doing ever since at least the final case of the first game, with Von Karma being the culprit. All the way from then to now. Oh boy. I think you're about ready for us, Nick. Maya? You look awful. Yes, because we're to deal with more fanboy pants over there. You look like you didn't get a wink of sleep last night. I know. I didn't. What? Really? Why not? I stayed up browsing AF. Okay? You did? Was it related to the case? At first it was, but then I realized that I had spent 8 hours online and got nothing accomplished. Oh no. This is why we need TLDRs in threads, okay? Exactly. Well, that'll happen. Just remember in the future that there's such a thing as moderation. Well, what they had, like, you know, we don't know what the moderators on the website itself, but they had administrators, so, maybe the moderators don't exist that we know of. I know, it happened to me 6 times. 6 times? What? Wrong kind of moderation, Maya. I'm sorry if I fell asleep during the trial today. Please don't. I have a feeling Williamson wouldn't take too kindly to that. And he's gonna mock us for it, yay. Well, you better have something solid, right? Right? Please don't tell me you just have internet junk. Please. Court's now session for the trial of Edmund Books. Oh, Edmund Books. I said Norman Books. Okay, it's been a couple days. Sorry about that. I've been a bit busy. Defense is ready. Prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Also, I just don't want to really remember him at all. There's that too. I trust that you two are prepared. Let's hear your opening statements. Well, to open the book in this case, there's no case. There. Your Honor, the victim was one Walter Webb. Walter Wade Webb. You've heard the middle name? It was reported shot in his bedroom early in the night. The defendant was the one accused. Maybe witnesses saw the crime, but sadly there is very little in the way of evidence this time. Due to a fire, much of what we might have found is destroyed. Okay. A fire? How awful! Yes, the house caught fire shortly after his death. It's a miracle we still have somewhat intact crime scene. However, despite this, the prosecution will still be able to prove that the defendant, Edmund Books, is the culprit. Oh, by what means is that besides a witness? Our eyewitness account will be enough for this. Okay, yeah, that'll definitely prove everything. It'll prove all, yes, it will. Yes, I'm totally not being sarcastic right now. An eyewitness? Wow, I can't believe we've never heard that before. Yes, that will certainly help your case. Mr. Wright, do you have anything to say? Bullshit. Defense believes Mr. Books is innocent, Your Honor. Eyewitness or no eyewitness, the amount of physical evidence against him is rather weak. If you ask me, the prosecution has a rather shaky case. We'll see. Yeah, I want to see what you rely on if the witness is, like, you know, not up to par. We meet again, right? Yeah? What, you have another speech prepared? Looks that way, yes. We're not still sore about losing the Sir Galante case to me, are you? Losing? That's hardly losing. A man like you doesn't deserve to stand at that bench. You may have fooled everybody else here, but I'm not blind. This again? Are you ever gonna drop this? It'll be an injustice for me to simply forget about your past. I won't be satisfied until the true Phoenix Wright is exposed. Okay, you keep doing that. You certainly did a great job figuring out what evidence Phoenix forged last time, or did you even bother looking? Are you slacking your duties? How do we end up with this guy again? Unluckiness, maybe? There has to be 1,000 prosecutors in the city, or they all been fired and, you know, handed down by a certain chief prosecutor. All that. What are the odds of that? In my world, they're apparently pretty good. The odds are never in your favor. Well, except for the cases. Like, the odds seem to come together quite nicely, but you still have to work through those odds to actually find those lucky odds out. It's like you're not really lucky, it's more like you manage to put yourself in a position to be lucky. Right? That's good advice. The prosecution requested the defense or please refrain from chatting amongst themselves. Well, I want to have a little chit-chat, gossip and all that. Does this trial need to begin? Maybe it doesn't? Okay. Okay, I'm being really sarcastic. I agree. Please submit your bickering with your aide, Mr. Wright. Well, I need to stop being sarcastic. Okay, fine. What? I wasn't the one you... It would be calling you your preferred witness, Mr. Williamson. The prosecution would like to call a detective investigating the crime. Very well, bring him in. Oh, wait. Wait, we're not getting, what was his name? That FBI guy, Tostoroga, I think? Yeah, I think it was Tostoroga. No, Togamera. Okay, I got the wrong. Okay. Nathan Togamera with an E. I am Mark Waters, and I'm a homicide detective. I've been working on this along with a Mr. FBI agent. The FBI's involved with this? Well, I guess Webb was some kind of high-profile criminal. Well, okay. Agent Togamera is apparently taking a search as a chance to search the house. So are you helping this FBI agent? Well, it's technically two separate investigations. I'm checking out the murder, and he's trying to find stuff on what Webb was doing while he was still alive. So by that logic, he's bearing out the crime scene, okay. The two kind of overlap at times. Why, that's certainly confusing. Tell me about it. Okay. Luckily for us, only one of the two matters right now. We are here to determine whether the defendant killed the victim, nothing more. Yes, I suppose so. Is there anything else we should know about this, Mr. Williamson? We received reports that Mr. Webb worked for the Rivales family. I tried looking into it, and I'm afraid that I'm not permitted to speak much on this matter. What? Why is that Wait, so you're saying, like, you're saying that Walter Wade Webb is, like, you know, part of the Rivales family, but you can't go into details about that? What, is he a serial killer like Sir Galante? You can't talk about that either? What? Oh my god. Wait, and also, didn't his neighbors say he's a hermit, so... he does most of his things online? That's a way for a hitman to go about his duties, okay. It's not unheard of, but... sure. Oh yes, those people. I know what my brother would say about this. He would say, I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'm sure he will. Well, I am. This man is obviously guilty. The victim is not the one on trial. Oh my god. Oh, right. Well, the defendant is obviously guilty too. What did he do? Your Honor, perhaps we should start the trial before we jump to that conclusion? Indeed. Let's get to the point. What point is that? Please tell us what your team has found, Detective. Yes, sir. Oh, what have you found? Please tell me you found something actually, like, worthwhile besides a goddamn flame war and just the smallest motive, like, maybe being friends. The victim was shot in his bedroom. After that, the killer set fire to his place before escaping. We got lots of calls with the fire, and the building is still intact, but now our evidence is destroyed. But that's it? We still don't know much. I believe that any questions we have can be cleared up in the cross-examination. Mr. Wright, please begin. Yes, Your Honor. Don't tell me all you have is literally just... oh, they're friends, they came into the... he was obviously in there. Have you even found the gun or anything like that? Anything? Victim was shot in his bedroom. Hadoy. Could you tell us some more about how he was killed? Not much else to say. You shoot a guy in the face, he tends to die, right? Yeah, but okay. Well, yeah, I guess. Come on, Waters, don't be like this. How far was the killer from the victim? It couldn't have been more than a few yards. There were gunpowder burns around the wound, and besides, it's not like the room's too big to begin with. So the killer had to have been in the same room with him. What happened next? So whoever it was, like, literally broke into the house, too. It was a burglar after all! After that, the killer set fire to his place before escaping. How extensive is the damage? Most of the building is still intact. It was really just the bedroom that took the brunt of it. Here, take a look. Oh my, just look at that place. That's just the floor, but okay. The forensics team took this. I think the picture should speak for itself. Well, the floor is, like, you know, burned up, but with the walls and all that in the rest of his room. Lucky the fire department was able to get there as quickly as they did. Otherwise, there might not have been anything left. Not even a body or anything. The fire would have woken up the neighbors anyway, but most of them were already awake. The loud music coming from Webb's place did a good job of that. Loud music? The youth of today. No respect for elders. For others. Others. The court accepts this as protos evidence. Is there even anything to even look at in there? It's literally just a big pile of nothing. Oh yes, look at how certain areas of the floor is unburnt, and look at the way. Wait. Well, I can't say that because like literally just didn't like the intro cutscene like showed Walter Wade Webb like dying in his chair at the computer. So I guess we can't say that, but it's weird. He died in the middle of the room. Like it was a scuffle or something like that. I'm using the power of meta to figure this out. Don't fault me. Who's team detective? We got lots of calls with a fire. What a hot time. No. I say this joke's terrible. That one is definitely terrible. There was no pun to it. What do people say about it? The house is burning and somebody should do something about it? Really though? Anything else? What, like there's more to say when your neighbor's house bursts into flames? I'm pretty sure it's not a common occurrence. They were just calling to report a fire, man. Were these calls before or after the complaints of the music? They were after, I think. Yeah, they were definitely after. It would have to be after. Nobody's gonna be complaining about loud music when there's a building on fire. Well, you wouldn't. Well, there's people out there who still blame that. Did you get any other phone calls besides the ones about the fire? Yeah, we did get one more. Somebody called in and said that Webb had been killed. It must have been from Little Miss Nameless. We didn't get a transcript of the call. Okay, we have. Can we actually see what's going on? It's all in there if you need to know more. Thank you, Detective. Like you to update your testimony with this information? Got it. But only one about a murder. Couldn't really tell you why. Couldn't tell you why. I'm gonna read this. Okay, call made to the police about Webb's murder, made from a public payphone. Public payphone? Okay, 911, what's your emergency? Hello? I'm calling to report a murder. A murder? What happened? I just saw a man get shot in his bedroom. Can I get your location? I'm on Upper Middle Street. I gotta go. I think the killer might have seen me in a call. Okay, that was short. Okay. I can only one about a murder. Couldn't really tell you why. What did the caller tell you? That Webb had been killed? Not much else. I'm sure more was discussed than that. Not much more. Could you give some details? What? It was kind enough to give you that to transcript the call. How about you read it yourself? Well, I'm illiterate. Well. Yeah, I guess it doesn't really say much else. There. Was that so hard? Very. You have no idea. I can read just fine, thank you. It's good to know you can still read, right? Okay, this can't be just a coincidence. I know he's reading my mind or something. He's a mind reader. He's not reading your mind, Nick. Don't test me, Maya. How did you... Please continue, Mr. Waters. I swear, if only a judge can read minds, like read Phoenix's mind, then the whole thing would come full circle. The building is still intact, but now all the evidence is destroyed. So, was the gun not there? There should be like a smoldering pile of metal at some point, right? Did the killer take that? All the evidence is gone. Not all, really. Just a good chunk. We still picked up some DNA and trace of fingerprints. I'll get to those later. At least the house is still around, though. Otherwise, we would have had much of a crime scene at all. Rather pointless if we aren't able to turn up any evidence in the first place. Yeah, I guess. These are just the basic facts of the case, so there shouldn't be too much wrong. No, but knowing Waters, there's probably something out of there that he hasn't considered yet. Maybe that contradiction, just clarification on something. To point that out to him. Clarification? Okay, not contradiction, but he decides to elaborate on something. Shauna's room. The killer set fire to this place before escaping. Make calls with a fire. The only one about a murder, couldn't really tell you why. What? Wait. The building's still intact and all evidence is destroyed. Something with clarification. Well, so the one thing that jumps to mind right now, to my mind forefront, just out of everything, was that I'm, wait, so, I just want to be clarification of the boombox itself. The switch is set to on, the volume dial is maximum, the entire neighborhood could hear it. Okay, doesn't really give us that much, but... They mentioned, like, loud music was playing as, like, was blasting from the boombox, and everyone called the police to complain about the loud music. And then people got phone calls for the fire, but afterwards only one caller called to tell about a murder. I saw him make a shot in his bedroom. My first thought was maybe something about maybe, like, how could they hear a gunshot? But, like, if they said, like, they saw it, then they're just not that. I saw a man get shot in his bedroom. Okay, so if, like, boombox is going on, like, over top of it, then that clarifies that, so it makes sense no one else would hear a gunshot. But one person, like, literally, like, saw into the window of his room and saw a murder happen. So, The clarification. Shot in his bedroom, and that the killer set fire to his place before escaping. Well, it makes sense. If you're a killer, you want to get rid of as much crime and evidence as possible for a crime. You got lots of calls with a fire. Yeah, that makes sense. But only one about a murder. Couldn't really tell you why. Oh, maybe it actually is that? The gunshot or something? Maybe? Oh, okay, I was right. Okay. I think I know why nobody else called about the murder. It was because they didn't know. The music was playing too loudly for anyone to hear the gunshot. Oh, well, hey, I guess that makes sense. Okay. I think the music was being played so that the killer could cover up the noise of the gun. Well, there must be some people who actually enjoyed getting them woken up by listening to Rickrolls, huh? That's at least one person, right? I don't know how many people live in that spacious neighborhood, but at least one person must, like, you know, never give you up, right? Right? Well, I don't like the music, so... Well, yes, I get it. That does raise another question, though. Wouldn't that draw attention to the house? The police were already getting calls before anything ever happened. That's actually a good point. No, the police would have been rather occupied once they finally arrived with the fire. The house isn't fire. They would have been too distracted to bother with anything else. So the fire was used both to destroy evidence and a means of escape. Exactly. Well, this is all good. Now that you've pointed this out, I won't have to do it myself later. I would rather hope that Waters would be able to deduce this by himself. Hey! I'm not gonna see how it points away from the defendant. It just points of clarification? Don't get your things a twist. He's right. What I just said could apply to anybody, including Mr. Books. Well, the law's not gonna go into his books, yes, yeah. Don't throw the book at him just yet. Mr. Williamson, I trust you have evidence pointing to the defendant. Please, regale me with your so-called evidence. French words. I do, Your Honor. There are several factors which incriminate him as the likely suspect. Mr. Waters can cover this for us. Detective, please tell us about our case against the defendant. Righto, Basso. Gasso, Bosi Nova. Well, we found part 2. Pardos. The defendant and the victim knew each other very well. Okay, you're going with the whole friend angle. Okay. Books had a falling out with the victim recently. That's the motive. That flame war? Literally just small bits of joking around and all that. Okay. Even with, like... we could take those death threats so seriously. So seriously. That didn't seem like it was a friendship breaker. We found traces of his DNA in the house. If they're friends, then yeah? He's also the guy who ever visited Webb's home. Okay, there's that too. Makes sense why you would suspect that. Okay. Oh yeah, they did mention he was a hermit. Okay. Not well enough. He doesn't really have an alibi. It's early at night, though, right? Or, like, in the middle of the time? Like, what? Hold on, when did it happen? When was I to report? It did happen in the middle of the night, so, of course he would have an alibi? I mean, I'm pretty sure most people would be in bed. Unless you're saying that, like, that's just people who just had a night shift. the graveyard shift? Okay. And Edmund Books is a librarian, so yeah, no? Is it looking good for the defense? No, it isn't. Fortunately for me, none of it is actually solid evidence. It's just conjecture. Still, I'm gonna have to find a way around it. Yeah, we're going with the angle of, like, since Walter Wade Webb was a hermit, and he was only friends with this one guy, then that means he was the most likely person to do it. And so I don't think they mentioned anything about the door being broken down. Either, well, the fire destroyed it, like destroyed the evidence of the door, the front door being destroyed, or like some other method of entry. Either the fire covered it up, or they at least, like, literally, yeah, it didn't happen at all. Let's go with the fact that maybe the fire covered up a break-in or not. Let's go with that idea for the time being. Victim and defendant knew each other very well. How would you describe the relationship between the two? You mean you don't know yet? I need you, don't you know the whole court proceedings? I need you to tell me, okay? That's not exactly what I said. Ha! Looks like the one step ahead of you this time, man. This is great, I actually had the upper hand here. Just answer the question. Well, if you had to know. The two were more or less best friends. They know each other for years. The two were so close that Mr. Books wouldn't have killed him. Not quite, because you see... Books had a falling out with the victim recently, that's the motive. Oh yes, a flame war. And it translates to an actual flame dodge. Flame, fire, bonfire night into the house. Makes so much sense. Just roasting all that campfires onto his s'mores. What can you tell me about this argument? The two got into some sort of fight about a week ago. Books did something to piss off Webb. Webb told him to not try contacting him again. Well, rats. Something they wouldn't know about us yet. Wouldn't that be more of a motive for Webb to kill Books? Not the other way around? Who can really say how mad Books was, right? Okay. He would have been really hurt by it and wouldn't be thinking clearly. Sometimes, because they're upset, people will do things that they really regret. Occasionally, this involves hurting those close to you. The argument was a very emotional experience for Mr. Books, and he was clearly disturbed by it. Emotionally charged crime. I would find this easy to believe. Well, didn't the... If it was emotionally charged and it was premeditated? Things like that happen all the time. I guess I can argue with that. I can't. No, you can't. Thank you for clarifying that. However, motive isn't enough for a conviction. As we should also discuss the other points against the defendant. Right, so as I was saying, Busso. We found traces of his DNA in the house. Makes sense. I thought you said all the evidence had been destroyed. Well, I didn't mean all of it. Just most. And a little bit that wasn't just happens to be incriminating my client? Yes, that's your unlucky side of this whole look at the draw thing going. The fire didn't spread to the whole building, so it's not like it got rid of everything. Book's fingerprints and DNA were all over the place. Yeah, he kept coming to, Wade's house this whole time. So you see, that proves he was there. At least once. Many times. Not the night of crime. They were friends, of course they'd been there before. Wait for it, man. Oh no, here it comes. He was also the only guy who ever visited Webb's home. Okay. Are you sure about that? Not even pizza delivery men, Amazon packages, online shopping, anything like that. DoorDash, other products I can put in here, even though I don't like any of them. Yep, we questioned the neighbors. All of them said they'd never seen anybody with Books going there. All of them? All of them. Books and Webb were the only two. He doesn't sound like a very social person at all. He wasn't. None of the neighbors knew Webb well. He seemed to be making a point of avoiding them. So they didn't even know his name. Guess nobody else knew Webb, and it's doubtful that anybody would have a reason to want him dead. Well, what about the Riley's family? He worked for them. There's plenty of bad people in there who might hate him. The family has very specific ways of counting murders, so we don't believe it's them. Well, didn't it's the same thing, like, they could have hide information from you for all this? There aren't any other organized gangs left, so it wasn't a turf war. Somebody in the Mafia is always going to have enemies. Perhaps. The point remains that nobody's expecting them to be involved. It's right yet. Until we have reason to, there's no point bringing it up. I might have to let this go for now. It seems way too suspicious just to forget. Yes, I see. Please continue. Top it all off, he doesn't really have an alibi. That goes for everybody. Like, nighttime, sleepy times, either drink that whole warm, cold milk. Warm, cold. No alibi? Nope. All they can tell us was I was at home. Books lives alone, so, you know. Nobody can confirm that he was actually there. Yep. He didn't even have a security system either to show he's there. Well, look, it was an apartment, so meh. Unless the apartment building had a security system? No, probably not. The lack of an alibi doesn't automatically prove him guilty, but Chili isn't helping me here. I hope there will be some way around this. Our case isn't as strong this time. It really isn't, but that's the problem. I'm not seeing any holes here. There isn't much being presented, so there isn't much for me to object to. Well, I suppose it's good for us. Kind of. Okay, we'd like to... Oh, okay, I thought we had to present something there. I was like, okay, what can I even do against this? As you can see, there are plenty of reasons for this defendant. I suppose so. It's not the strongest case I've ever heard, but it does seem to point to him. You know, all these points are fine. There still hasn't been anything solid. It's all circumstantial evidence you have against him. That's where you're wrong, man. Detective, do you have some definitive proof the defendant was the killer? Oh, you bet we do. We get an eyewitness. Should I get the dice set again? She has the whole thing happen. This will certainly add to the prosecution's case. Let's hear from her. That's not decisive evidence? Oh god, yep, it is her. Please get your name and occupation. Here it comes. I'm finally gonna learn it. Gonna know her name. I'm a regular user in AF. I wasn't aware that Internet Junkie was a career. This music again. God damn it, no. It was neither your name nor your occupation. So? What? I'm a witness. I saw the crime. I'm testifying about it. Isn't that all you need to know? I'm sorry, but no. Name and occupation, please. I can't take it seriously. Neither of those are important in the current situation. You're much more cooperative than the interrogation yesterday. Let's be reasonable. Name and occupation. Let's see. Nah. What's this? I'm gonna have to ask you to... Mr. Williamson? Are you... Name and occupation now! Wow, this guy's scary when he's angry. Well, if you must know, I'm a university student. Oh god. Thank you, and now you're You know what? Never mind. Wow, is he getting up that easily? Sometimes it's not worth the effort. It's not worth the effort. Okay. Okay, if Phoenix is ever gonna be the person to forge evidence or like do some tampering, it's only to break into the police records just to figure out who this girl's name is. And that's only it. Only that. Only breaks into the police records just for that. Only that. The prosecution guy's right. I did see it. I'm just a witness. Well, I think that we should hear about what you saw. Okay, Mr. Judge, here you go. Oh yes, tell us exactly what you saw. You still brought your onion here today. Okay, yeah, your onion stock. I was up late at night. I've been browsing the webosphere and chatting with people. Webosphere. Nice, okay, I'll take that. Suddenly, I heard a loud bang. I turned to the window and saw him standing there over Mr. Webb. Over Mr. What? Oh my. I'm sorry to see that. It must have been a very traumatizing experience for you. Yeah, I'm all distraught and stuff. Very. She says without a hint of emotion in her voice. You don't mind? I would like to... For cross-examination? Yeah, I got you covered there. I beg your pardon? You're gonna have Mr. Wright ask me some questions, right? As an avid member of AF, I know exactly how this works. I know what I'm doing. Right. You seem to already have a handle on how the court works? You might say that. Yes. Oh, God. Well, perhaps that will make things easier for us. No. I sincerely doubt that, Your Honor. May I begin? Okay. I already see a contradiction here, and I don't want to deal with her right now. I don't. So let me just get to that contradiction just immediately. Suddenly, I heard a loud bang. No. I'm not even gonna deal with your goddamn shenanigans. We're getting to the bottom of this right now. You didn't hear a gunshot. You sure about that? Yes, indeedy. I'm super sure. But are you really positive? I'm 100% positive. Are you 100% positive? Yes, I'm 102% positive. Are you 103? Infinity positive. Infinity in one Shut up. I'm positive. We discussed this while others, actually. Music playing in the victim's house is too loud for anybody to hear the gunshot. I I wouldn't be sure about that. House is very close to the victims. Noise would have been much more noticeable from there. No. We know the music was already playing before the gun was fired. In this case, her attention would have already been drawn towards the house. It couldn't have been the noise of the gun that caught it. Oh boy, that's right. She should have been focusing on his house long before he was shot. But according to her testimony, that didn't happen. Was she just ignoring something that the rest of the neighborhood noticed? Because I'd find that rather hard to accept as well. Well, she was listening to, like, stuff on the interwebs and all that. She was just very that deep into AF as Maya was, and now she's going to fall asleep in the stand right now. So what do we have to believe from this? That is that she neither heard the gunshot nor the music. Something funny? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Judge. I guess I just remembered something. It wasn't the gunshot, the music that made me look over there, actually. In fact, I didn't even realize that there was music was playing in the first place. You what? Really? How could you not know that? I had my headphones on. Oh my god, I guessed that. Okay. They blocked out all the outside noise. The volume must have been really loud for you not noticing like the rest of the neighborhood did. Yeah, it was. You know, it's very bad for your hearing to play music that loud. I don't think she cares, and I think she should crank it up more and more. You shouldn't do that. Sorry, I'll remember that in the future. I'm not buying this story at all. There must be some other explanation. The only question is, can I prove it? Prove there's another reason? No? I don't have anything to disprove her story. I'll just have to watch and see how this plays out. Well, if you weren't able to hear the gunshot, we still need to know how you saw the crime. And we'll figure out what she saw and how she saw it next time. This is going to be the most grandest time to go talk to her after the whole events of yesterday. Yeah, this is going to be so much fun. So much fun. And the lines are already starting piling up, and this is going to be a grand old time, isn't it? What a great old time to experience in the webosphere of the worldwide of reality web. Oh boy, and we'll figure out what you saw next time. So, what a fun time to watch as I am playing us. Hope to see you next time, what time may be, and I'll hope you a fantastic day.